How's it going, my bakers? I'm having a great day so far. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'll show you to make a burnt white chocolate cheesecake. So let's get in the kitchen and see how it's done. We have made a few cheesecakes here already. One with Oreos, one with Biscoff, and even one with cottage cheese. Recently I was making blondies and I had some white chocolate left over. So I decided to make this burnt white chocolate cheesecake. Why burnt, I hear you say? Well, it's not really burnt. The chocolate is baked in the oven until just browned to deepen the flavor and tone down the sweetness of the white chocolate. As a base for this cheesecake, I use spicy ginger biscuits, which work really well with white chocolate. You can of course customize it to your taste. But let's just get on with it. Let me show you how it's done. Starting with the ingredients. For the base, we'll need some butter, sea salt, and biscuits. For the filling, we'll need some white chocolate, full fat cream cheese, double cream or heavy cream, eggs, flour, and vanilla paste or vanilla essence. And for the topping, we'll use some Greek yogurt and icing sugar. And I use these crunchy chocolate things for decoration. You can decorate your cheesecake with whatever you like. As for the equipment, we'll need a bowl, scales, a spatula, a whisk, and a baking tray. I'm using my Lloyd's Pans pizza pan. I always use it for sweet bakes, it works perfectly for that. I'll leave the measurements in the written recipe below. You can easily use a tray with a larger footprint without adjusting the recipe. Okay, before we begin, let's prepare the baking tray by lining it with some non-stick baking paper. And here's a little trick a friend showed me. Place the tray upside down, put the paper on top of it, trace the edges with your fingers, and then fold over the corners. Then flip the tray right way up again, and the paper should fit right in. Baking the chocolate is the first job. Place it in the tray and pop the tray in the oven. Leave it to bake for 20 minutes at 140 degrees Celsius, 285 Fahrenheit. Whilst the chocolate is baking, we can prepare the base and the topping. Crush the biscuits in a food processor or use a bag and a rolling pin. Make the crumbs as fine as possible. To make the topping, combine the icing sugar and the Greek yogurt. The tartness of the Greek yogurt works well with cutting the richness of the cheesecake. Mix it until it's completely smooth, transfer it to a smaller bowl and leave it in the fridge until needed. Once the chocolate is almost ready, start preparing the rest of the ingredients for the cheesecake filling. In a large bowl, combine the double cream and the vanilla paste. Mix the two ingredients and then heat them up until they start steaming. I did this in my microwave. If you don't have a microwave, just heat it up in a pan. Once the chocolate is ready, remove it from the oven and drop it in the hot cream and vanilla mix. This is what it should look like when it's done. It's just slightly browned and it's almost the same color as the baking paper. Drop the chocolate in the hot cream, grab a whisk and whisk until smooth. Next up, add the cream cheese and whisk again. Then add the eggs and whisk once more. And finally, add the flour and whisk until it's all nice and smooth. Don't worry about whipping a mix like this. You don't need to do that. The only reason for using a whisk here is just because it's the most effective tool for the job. You can modify a recipe like this to your taste, as long as you keep the ingredient ratios correct. You can use milk chocolate or dark chocolate. In that case, you won't need to bake it, simply melt it in the cream and continue as per recipe. Use any biscuits that you like for making the base. Any biscuit will work. As long as you like the taste of it, go for it. Okay, that is our cheesecake mix done. Let's leave that on the side and prepare the base. Combine the salt with the biscuit crumbs and then add the melted butter. Mix until all the biscuit crumbs look nice and moist. The reason why we're adding salt here is the same reason why we are baking the white chocolate. We are trying to work against that sweetness. Okay, once you have mixed up the base, grab your non-stick paper lined baking tray. You can use the same paper that you baked the chocolate on. There's no need to waste it. Pour the biscuit crumbs into the tray, then spread them out evenly. Once the surface is more or less covered, press the crumbs down to make a solid base. And try to make the biscuit layer as even as possible. Once you're happy with the base, grab the filling and pour it all over it. This thing is ready for the oven, so let's get it in there. We'll bake it low and slow at 150 degrees Celsius, 300 Fahrenheit, fan on. And that will be 170 degrees Celsius or 340 Fahrenheit, fan off. At this temperature, it will take around 40 minutes to fully bake. It's not always easy to tell whether it's done or not. It should definitely be puffed up nicely, and perhaps start cracking around the sides, and it should still be a little bit wobbly. Here's what that would look like. Give it a little shake. If it looks a little bit bouncy, it's good. Once your cheesecake is ready, take it out of the oven and leave it to cool down to room temperature. Once it has cooled down, place it in the fridge and leave it until it's completely set. I usually bake these things in the afternoon and leave them in the fridge overnight. Once the cheesecake is fully cooled down, remove it from the fridge, remove it from the tray, peel off the baking paper, Cut it into portions, top it with the yogurt frosting and serve it up. It tastes great straight from the fridge as well as at room temperature. And there you go. That's how you make a burnt white chocolate cheesecake. The funny thing is that once we have baked the chocolate and then added it to the cheesecake mix and baked the cheesecake, the end result doesn't even taste like white chocolate. It has a nice light caramelized flavor to it. The spicy ginger biscuit base works great with that. The yogurt frosting adds a bit of freshness, and that crunchy chocolate thing adds a nice little texture to it. So let me know what you think of this recipe. What's your favorite type of baked cheesecake? And if you have a bit of a sweet tooth, head over to the pastry, cakes and sweet bakes playlist for plenty more recipes. And if you haven't subscribed already, you might as well click that button. It's your one-stop shop for all things baking, and I have plenty more to show you. But as ever, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.